honestly not sure how many of you are going to agree with me by the end of this. Welcome to IJustWatched. I'm Joseph. We're talking Loki Season 2, Episode number 1, baby. A lot kind of happens in this episode, and I say it hesitantly. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen the episode, just in case. When I say a lot happens in this episode, yes, there's a lot of references and Easter eggs and nods to things that may come, may not come. We're jumping back and forth between the past, present, and future with Loki, who is time slipping, which I like the idea. The visual concept is very much a nod or reference to Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse when they're glitching. I like that aspect and like how they used it, or maybe that's what inspired it. But also the trailers made time slipping seem like it was going to be kind of a big deal. Nothing other than the fact that the Lady of the Veil is still crazy and has found a new son in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, okay? But she's clearly has issues, and X5, if I remember correctly, is clearly having that whole mama's boy situation, but on the level of creepiness that we had in Game of Thrones. But she's clearly a villain. She's up to no good. She's probably not just a council member. She could be mixed in or intertwined with Kang. Although we're hearing bits and pieces while we are in the past of the Kang at the end of time, who has technically been killed by Sylvie, and they're hunting Sylvie, but they're trying to figure out what to do because the system basically is overloading. It's not made to have so many branching timelines, and they're also having that moral decision. We can't, like, every time we get rid of one, we're killing hundreds of thousands of millions of people. We are variants. Like, what should we do? They're having that moral pull. Like, do we stop doing that? Do we keep doing that? The system's overloading. We get a lot of Obi in it, and he did a very good job. I like his character. He's very quirky. Pobrecito, porque he clearly doesn't interact with people. His character is like, yeah, the last time I saw you was like hundreds of years ago. Really? I thought it wasn't too long ago. Remember? And then the other guy in the team. What team? It's just me. You're like, oh, dude, someone help this guy. Pobrecito. He needs some kind of companionship. Get him a cat. But I like his character because he's very quirky. He knows a lot. He's very informative, and he's, willing to help. But he's also lacks that genuine, just everyday social skills. So he's like, gotta do this, gotta do that. You might die. Your skin might tear off. You're gonna do this, but if you don't do this perfectly, I like that aspect of him. I like how he's kind of logical, and he was sitting there like, we waited long enough and hit the button to start locking down the facility. I'm hoping we get more of him throughout the show here and there. There's nods back to the first season. There's references to things that we might see. I mean, we know it's supposed to cross over with Deadpool 3, but we don't know who else we might see. Like, expectations aren't super high for me, but there's definitely a few things there that are going to be set up that we're supposed to see. Basically, the destruction or the chaos that is the multiverse before it gets fixed, assuming, King Dynasty Avengers area. But the potential's there, and there's moments that you can see them trying to set a few things up, which is fine. But the reason I think you're going to disagree with me overall is the fact that I thought the episode was just okay. I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but the first episode of a 6-episode series, it was just meh. It was just whelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. It was just whelming. There was nothing particularly crazy or amazing or set up that I was like, oh, this is great. I mean, we get that small little credit scene with Sylvie showing up to McDowell's and being like, I want everything. Like, chicken nuggets about to change your life. But nothing else kind of really happens other than the fun conversations and small references to other things. Like, I mean, there's a Moon Knight reference because homeboy Casey is listening to the same thing that Moon Knight was listening to. Yes, there's cool things in this episode, but the episode itself isn't that good to me. It was just bland. It was just, here for the most part. And I was kind of hoping, episode 1, this is supposed to be huge. I know it's connected. And don't get me wrong, this season itself, each episode can drastically get better. But this one so far was meh. I'm watching it. I don't really care to watch episode 1 again. Hopefully that changes. And my reference would be Ahsoka. Ahsoka episode 1 was great. I enjoyed it. I like where it was going. I want to see it again. I want to see the series again. But like I said, Loki can change and it can get better. And I could be like, ooh, this show, this episode is blowing my mind. Right now, I'm kind of coasting with it. But I want to hear your thoughts if you've seen it. Let me know. Comments, questions, concerns. What are your theories? Where do you think we're going with it? The Lady of the Veil, good guy or villain? I'm putting my call in. She has to be a villain. I love hearing from y'all. So until next time, stay safe, be well, y con mucho amor. Adios.